We are ready.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Dakota Campbell, and I just want to let you know that I play a lot of video games in my spare time. Now, all of us here either are in college or have attended college, which leads me to believe that all of us here are working towards some sort of goal in our life, some sort of future career plan. Now imagine that when you get to your career, you get the job you want, the word you've been working your entire life on, that people just all around you start saying, well, that's not a real job. That's just like, that's a thing kids do, guys. That's not really a job. Now imagine the fact that a lot of people believe that your job is not a real job leads you to be unable to actually do your job in the future. Now this is what happens to many of esports athletes nearly every day. What is esports? Esports is simply just electronic sports. It's competitive video games where people compete either individually head-on-head or in a team in a video game to see who is the best and who has more skill and is better at the game. Now, majority of the media and a lot of professional lawmakers have seen this as not a real job, that they are not professional athletes, which causes many problems for them, such as being unable to travel to other countries where these competitions are held because they're unable to get proper visas and travel. This also just causes them in general to have much less respect for their profession. Now, I have three main points here. One is that these esports competitors are athletes. Second is that they are professionals. And the third is that the American population has already begun changing their views on these esports athletes. So most of these games people play are either fighting games like Super Smash Bros. And Street Fighter, or first-person shooter games such as CSGO, Overwatch, Call of Duty, or the more common, the League of Legends, the Dota 2. Now all of these are either team or individual competitions. So a lot of these games require a severe amount of athletic ability that actually rivals that of professional athletes. Just because these athletes are not running around a field, they still require much quick and precise movement, just in a different way. A lot of games, such as Super Smash Bros., require a minimum of 150 actions per minute for you to be competitively viable. In some games, such as StarCraft, that goes up to 400 unique actions per minute that are done asymmetrically with each hand doing different actions. Now, another athletic skill that a lot of esports athletes have perfected in their nearly 14 hours of practice a day is their reaction time. According to a study presented to the American Center for Science and Health, rivals that of jet fighter pilots. Their reaction time is nearly identical. They must also have a very quick ability to plan and react to what their opponents are doing. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to be able to do this. Now, what does it mean by them being professionals? It means they earn their livings in a skill that is usually performed by amateurs. Now, a professional football player actually makes their living doing that. A professional esports player makes their living playing video games. Most people think that's just a kid thing, not a real job. But in fact it is. According to the 2017 Global Esports Market Report, there have been the esports economy grew nearly $696 million during the year of 2017, with a year-on-year average of being 41.3% growth. Brands have contributed nearly $517 million in advertising, and that is expected to double in the coming years. And the audience has reached 385 million, with nearly 191 million enthusiasts. So there have been a lot of growth in the esports economy, making it a viable way for people to actually make a living off of this as their life goal. And according to Forbes, there have been, in 2016, there were 600 esports sponsorship agreements made. Now, how are the esports athletes treated now? The media in general sees them as very poor, as very like, oh, they're just playing a kid's game. That's not a real job. I've got a real job here. But esports has continued to grow in popularity over the past few years and is actually starting to gain actual public recognition. They are now able to apply for P1 visas, athletes coming to America, are able to apply for these visas, which are usually reserved for professional athletes for them to come into competitions. This has made it easier for athletes to come to America for these competitions. There's also been talk of the 2024 Olympics actually having esports events in the Olympics. This is done mainly for the ability to draw in a younger crowd and put in new athletes into the system. Even TV sports producers such as ESPN have started airing and tracking esports results, giving them more of a presence instead of just being an online-only event. So, I would like to say that esports athletes are, in fact, professional athletes, not somebody just sitting in front of a screen for 14 hours a day playing a video game.